Oh, doggone it. Okay. Now you'll probably hear me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, DF. Let me know if it kicks in now. I use Restream to do this, and they had a facelift of things, and so they inserted like new features, like a cool countdown um, window with some Serenity music. So I was having a hard time turning that off and turning my vocals on. So if I do start to come through, let me know. I can tell it's like seems now it's fine. Okay, thank you. Oh, all right. Let me just mute myself on the other machine. Ever since I had that one instance where I came on and I had the voice of the devil through the soundboard, I got just overly paranoid that I would do that again. So anyway, welcome to the 7 minute security live stream. I'm really excited. I'm also kind of nervous about this because this is not usually my territory of topics, but I want to show you, I want to kind of regurgitate some training, regurgitate a very brief version of some cool training that I watched and did last week, more on the blue team side of things. In fact, I'm going to take advantage of these fancy restream features. I'm going to briefly put up this ticker because I know that some of the folks who write in and who listen to the podcast or watch these streams, I know that you're on the blue team side of things, and like incident response and forensics really well. So I think what I'm about to show you may be like, you're not really using the tool right, or that's not how a hunt would actually go down. That's okay. I'm what my goal is to just give you kind of a quick start primer on this Velociraptor tool that I learned a bit about last week, because I think it makes for a really interesting, well, a lot of interesting use cases. But for me, for 7MS, we don't get into the incident response side of things. We're more on the incident triage side of the house. So if like a customer has, hey, we think we got, somebody got fished, maybe they clicked something bad, but we don't know if like what the extent of the damage is. Bob from accounting opened up toteslegit.zip and he double clicked toteslegit.exe, and now EDR is going bonkers, and you know what I mean? We're seeing weird behavior. We don't have a SIEM, we don't have MDR. We just need to get some eyes and boots to the ground here and figure out what's happening. Well, we being 7MS sit more in like the incident triage seat. So it's like we'll kind of help facilitate resources, and let's get legal on the phone. Let's get call your cyber insurance provider. Let's get them talking to you, and let's like kind of get all the people at the table. And then soon an incident response group will take over, and if they got to work 24/7 to pull demons out of the network, so be it. But I think for us, knowing a bit more about this Velociraptor would be a great thing. That again, we come into an environment that has no tools, no visibility. You can stand this up very quickly. It's open source, and start getting visibility as far as what evil might be in the environment and what it's doing. So I'm just going to what I'm going to do is just do a quick start on like getting this stood up, getting the server stood up, getting some clients talking back to you. I like to think of, in my hacky explanation, I like to think of Velociraptor as a C2 for incident response, where you can query, you can run queries, run searches, run hunts, and from the Velociraptor server, you can ask your clients, tell me what processes are running, or tell me if there's a report back what this reg key says, or what have you, and then these things beacon home. But maybe my favorite feature is that it's all done with just standalone executables. You don't have to install a service or an agent. So for that reason, those reasons, it's pretty rad. Let me try to switch to screen share mode. They added all these fancy scenes. I don't really know. Side by side, would that be the way to do it? No, I want to have it so I'm just a talking head or not seen at all. I don't want to give you full screen here. Maybe that's that's a little bit better. I think that'll do. So just so you know, and I'll drop these links. These links will be in the show notes. I'm also going to just start funneling them right into chat. What I'm about to show you is taken heavily from this presentation, which I can't I can't load. But it's this Eric, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry, Capuano. That this is the one that like I mirrored what I'm going to show you after. He's got a bunch of uh, I think through Anti-Siphon and maybe through his own company offers much more in-depth training on this. But this is the one that kind of mirrors all the stuff that I'm going to show you, and I just think it's so well done. It looks like it was a conference presented at another conference, but anyway, that if you're needing to just get into more of the nuts and bolts and the advanced hunting, check out that presentation. But here is Velociraptor. Here's where I'm grabbing the files that you'll see shown today. And so, like I said, you could go to what I'm gonna show you is standing up the Velociraptor server. And so I'm just going to be using really mostly the Windows AMD64.exe. This is the same binary that's going to run server, is also going to run client. Now, because this is so new to me, and so I'm very afraid of the demo gods, right now I have the server all stood up and I'm getting information from endpoints. But I wanted to real quick just show you, is that fairly readable? Yeah, that's not too bad. Just to show you how quick you could get this stood up from vanilla. Okay. So I downloaded again, just that Velociraptor exe for Windows. And if you are starting from scratch, you want to generate a config file both for the server and the client side, and it's mostly wizard driven. I won't go through all the options because honestly, I'm not qualified to go through them. But you run the exe space space config space generate space tac I, and then you will go through just a little bit of Q&A about the environment that you're deploying into and what kind of features you want to turn on. The nice part is most of these questions, as we bang through these, offer you default folders and also offer you default choices. So they kind of nudge you towards like, well, if you don't know if you should turn this one thing on, if you just hit enter, the default is capital N for no. So data store directory, sure, that sounds good. You could, you could stand this up somewhere publicly if you wanted, and it would throw a let's encrypt cert on there from the get-go. That's pretty cool. I'll just say self-signed and public DNS name. Yeah, default is localhost. We'll just leave it as that. And then some questions about DNS config. I'm just going to take defaults for pretty much everything. Port for the server to listen on. WebSocket. Again, method is more efficient and portable than plain HTTP. Be sure to test this in your environment. Default is capital no, meaning that if I hit enter, it'll just say no. Do I want to use the registry to store write-back files? Experimental. No. And then what Dyn DNS provider do you use? I don't use any. The first user that's going to be authorized to use the GUI, that's going to be Brian. Brian's password is winter 2024 exclamation. And then this was a little bit confusing. I thought maybe I had some weird line wraparound error or put in a password it didn't like. But really what this is asking is, do you want to add more people? So that's cool. If you've got extra technicians, extra security people, legal, somebody, you can bang through and on the fly make them all login accounts. But I'm going to do empty to end. I'm just going to hit enter. And like, okay, generated keys, path to the logs directory. Sure, that's fine. And here's another experimental feature for restricting VQL functionality. Okay, no. And this is for me right here. If you don't know what this is, select N. Great. Where should I write the config file? Yeah, drop it right here. And drop the client config right here. Boom. That's it. Now we do a dir. We've got the exe that pairs nicely with the server config and the client config. The only thing, now you can, if I open up, let's pop this open and see, visibility wise, are we still okay? Yeah, that doesn't look too terrible. If I open up the server config, lots of tunage you could do in here, right? The only thing I changed, I think, for the sake of this demo, and actually it doesn't even maybe really affect the demo too much, but I want to say the API I changed. I believe, or maybe it's GUI. Shoot, maybe it's the GUI. One of these, it's restricted right now to being visited only by local host. So here I am on the domain controller, right? DC01. So that means out of the box, I can log into myself. I can log into the Velociraptor server and do Velociraptor stuff. But if I want to go over to desktop 01 and remote into the GUI, you have to change one of these. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just open up my actual running config and we can check real quick. Here we go. Let's see which one it is. Let's see. That's the out of the box one. Let me just look for it. What I did is I had to change it to 0.0.0.0. Okay, looks like the API one, but I feel like it was the GUI. Maybe I haven't actually tested it. Anyway, consult the docs. It's one or more of these, either API or GUI or both. If you want to hit it from machines that are not this machine, your server machine, make that one change. But otherwise, I left this completely how it came out of the box. And then when you're ready to actually run the server, which actually I've already done in another window, but the syntax is just the exe config and then the name of the file that we were just looking at, space GUI. Blam, that's it. And then of course, let that run. I'm going to just minimize it because I already have it open in this very chatty window where we can see all of our little, beaconing and updates. But that's it. It will be ready to log in and you can start doing stuff. Okay. Now, let me go. Oh, first place to probably show you is under the little drop down here from the main menu. Go to show all. And there they are. All my pretty little maids all in a row. Actually, let me get rid of this. I want to show you that later. Green means go. Green means I am getting logs and information from these endpoints. So one of the simple things we did in class is we just clicked into one of these and come up here to the upper right, shell, boom. And I already did some. Let me just toss these. I was just doing some. I was just doing some simple things. But if you wanted to, either at scale or just with a couple of endpoints, if you had some command you wanted to run, or I guess software to install, I'm not super deep on the incident response procedures, but if you needed to push out an installer or something, you could do that. But if I just wanted to do, I don't know, maybe I saw an artifact in the public folder for this box, and I don't know, this is probably a poor example, but you launch that and then you can load the output and there you go. Oh, and actually, in this case, just by luck, we did happen to find totes not evil exe. So that's not good. But again, right? You, and what an idiot. I skipped the whole, getting machines to talk to you thing. So going back to the dashboard, that was a pretty important piece. We see all these machines checking in. Let me show you. Let me go into, do I have it open already? Let me go into group policy editor. Let me show you all I had to do to make them all phone home. Here's where I apologize. The visibility is maybe not great of this window. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can make that bigger without a zoomy tool, but just it'll just have to do for now. I made a GPO here called OMGIR. And if I edit that, all I've got is under computer configuration. Let's see, where are my preferences? Control panel, scheduled task. Okay. I have got a scheduled task called Growl. And this is right out of the Sysraptor. I got too many dinosaur tools, dinosaur themed tools. Sysraptor is for writing pen test reports. Velociraptor, this is right out of their docs. What I've done is created a hidden task running with highest privileges, running whether the user is logged in or not, running as system. And I just configured this as being for Vista or 2008. And what this is running is out on my DC, I've created a share called Raptor with the exe in it that we just played with, and the client.config that we just generated as part of the server onboarding wizard. Put those as a wide open read-only share, and then I've pushed out a task for every system to run the exe, and this gets cut off a little bit. Let's see, can I edit that so you can see it a little bit better? Yeah. There's the full path to the exe, and then the arguments is tac config and the full UNC path to the client YAML file. I hope somebody's getting like the nerd giggities about this, because I love this. So again, no agent to install, no full install, no MSI to try to add the shortcuts for and have get deployed and leave some fingerprint, right? These systems will all get this as an immediate task. They'll fire Velociraptor and hook in the config file and then start phoning home. That's it. You can just watch, keep refreshing your dashboard, and you'll see boop, 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 see them start to call home. Okay. So that's that piece. That's how we got here. Sorry to Tarantino it and like start at the end and then back up to go, how the heck did we actually get things phoning home? But there we go. There's all our pretty little maids all in a row, ready for us to send them commands, enumerate them, etc. So here's like the 2 or 3, again, real basic things, but that I think are great about demonstrating the power of Velociraptor. So I'm gonna do the example from one of the first examples from this webinar from Eric, where you just want to do some baselining, maybe like an easy search to find potential evil artifacts right off the bat. So I'm going to come here to the little hamburger icon so you can see all the different menus and different functionalities of Velociraptor. And let's go to Hunt Manager and let's start a new hunt. So here I am in hunt mode. I am going to do a new hunt. And this is going to be, I don't know, find some basic evil. And of course, you've got all sorts of, configuration up the wazoo, but we're going to keep it really basic. You could say run by operating system. You can make this as narrow or as large of a hunt as you need to. But again, even I think in the training, it was like, I don't know, 60 or more, or maybe it was even in the hundreds, and he was getting results back in seconds. So it is a very quick thing. But I've got a small lab, so I'm going to run this everywhere. I like too that the hunt does not start immediately. So in case you configure it wrong and you want to sanity check it, you can do that before actually clicking go. And then I'm going to go into artifacts, and I'm going to use one that they showed called windows.system.ps list. There we go. So show me all the processes and their running binaries. And of course, there's lots of extra parameters you can do. You can come in here, hit the wrench, tune this to your liking. But I'm going to make it just that for now and say launch. And again, what I kept catching myself doing is I'd hit launch and then I would just stare at the screen. And it's like, well, it looks paused. Well, that's because I didn't tick that box to run immediately. So let's click that. And now up here, let's run it. And you get one more chance. You sure? Yeah, let's do that. And then here in the results space, this is where you can watch things happen in real time. So we've got 5 scheduled endpoints that should be calling home to us, and then live as they're request gets processed, it'll report back to the server. Now you can, if you're impatient, you can come over here to Notebook and you can, even if it's empty, you can say like reload workspace and it'll show you, 10 of the 50 that have called home. But otherwise, go get a mint hot cocoa for a few minutes and just wait for most or all of the endpoints to check in. So, again, small lab, but that took just, I don't know, 30 seconds maybe. So let's go to Notebook and I'll zoom out a little bit. And, we're going to see a lot of stuff, right? Um, uh, and in fact, I don't know if it's at the, let me see here. It's at the top of maybe it's at the bottom. If I go all the way to the bottom, just to get a feel for, we would have 50 results to look through, and that's not terrible, but in a real instant response with hundreds of endpoints. I mean, that was 50 results from 5 endpoints, so imagine hundreds of endpoints. That's going to be a lot to comb through, right? So, in the class. Oh, and by the way, let me give you this. This was awesome. So, as part of that talk, he put out a gist of like a companion to all the stuff that I'm showing you too. Check this out. And I'm sorry to shout. I'm sorry to put that in all caps, but this has all the edited searches and stuff that he does within the hunts to whittle them down to more important things. Because even for a 5 machine environment, 50 results, that's going to be a lot for me to comb through manually. But here's kind of a sample from that gist of how we squeeze that list down by saying, okay, I want to see just executables or list results that are not signed. And he talks about in the presentation that it's my understanding is it's pretty rare out there to see like properly or fully signed malware. So if you can clear off your search list of anything that is signed, that might help you get to the root of evil faster. Now, this was a little bit confusing to me because in a lot of these presentations, I see people, they're taking these results here and they're editing them using a dashboard that appears up here. But I was looking all over the help. I was looking for, do I not have some function enabled? But actually, all you have to do is just, I don't know if you saw that. I just clicked in the white space. And now here's my notebook editor where I can refine that search that gave us these results. That was, maybe there's like a preference that's just not turned on for me or something, but I'm not going to tell you how long I was just slamming my face into the desk at the hotel going like, where's my notebook editor? But anyway, here it is. So let's edit the notebook cell and I'll zoom in. And here's the query that's happening behind the scenes. Just a very basic, let's select everything from the process list and let's show it 50 at a time, I believe is what that does. So right from that gist that I sent you, I'm going to use his example. Let me just pull that up really quick. I just lost it. Where is it? There we go. Okay. So this is the one under process analysis. That's the one that I'm going to copy over. One thing, Ed, again, I'm so new to this, it's probably very obvious. I think once I clear this out, then it's gone unless I rerun the hunt. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe there's a place that stores like every notebook search that you've done. But what I just got in the habit of while I was preparing for this training is I leave the default one in place and just move the commented part out here. Wait, is that what it is? So that's how much I don't know about commenting. Yeah, that is it. So star, and then get rid of this guy. And then that comments out the out of the box search, and then you can paste in the new one. So we're whittling this down more to, okay, show us everything that's untrusted. And then I think where his example is coming from is, yeah, we know there's Python and we know there's some other monitoring tools that may not be signed, but we don't care about those. We want to keep those out of our search, and we just want to see the untrusted things. So we've edited our notebook, and then you just come over to the little save thing right at the top of the list here. And let's go save. And now here's what we've come down to. This is actually a legit thing. Oh, hold on a second. Um, let me let me stop real quick. I wanna simulate something though that try this. Let me try this one more time. Um, I don't actually know if you can just if I hit play again, I don't know if it'll do a fresh collection, but just let's just take my my noobness out of it. Let's go find some basic evil. And oh yeah, it should be everything. Should all be the same. Let me just launch that guy. Let me try this one more time, just so you can see something that might stand out. What I did on one of my desktops is I ran Rubius in monitor mode. So Rubius, if you're not familiar, is a great tool for a lot of things, but Kerberos ticket shenanigans is one of them. So you can, if you get local admin on a box, you can run Rubius in monitor mode and then maybe steal privileged tickets from users who may remote in or be remoted in at the time. So I have on my on DT01 on my desktop, I've got Rubius running right now. And oh, of course I didn't hit play, did I? Shoot. I think Rubius is still running. I just wanted you to be able to see a result that came out of the hunt that, clearly looks like, whoa, somebody's up to no good on desktop one because we see Rubius there that's trying to scrape tickets and privilege escalate. But let's see here. Let's see. A couple things have phoned in. Oh yeah. Oh, here's what I was talking about. If results start to come in, but not every endpoint is checked in, even if only a fraction of the endpoints have checked in, you should be able to say recalculate. Let's just see. Okay, everything is checked in. Let me do one more time. That let me edit the notebook again. Just click into the blank space here. Let's edit it. This time I don't care about keeping the default. I just want to see if I can find whittled down evil. And there we go. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in a little bit. So Rutrow, we have unsigned Rubius 47NE running with running with command line monitor run for 600 seconds. So on desktop 01, Rubius is running and just vacuuming up tickets for a long period of time. Clearly, that's no bueno, right? So imagine going from, here's 3 results, right? That's a heck of a lot more manageable of a list of evil things to go through than potentially thousands, you know? So pretty cool, right? Okay. As usual, whenever I'm presenting or talking to somebody, I will take silence as like, freaking hey, that's awesome. But feel free to put questions in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. But like I said before, not really my wheelhouse, but boy, am I enjoying it. Okay, so there's a little baseline evil search for us, right? And then another one of the exercises was, okay, let's go and pretend, that in our EDR console, for example, one second, let me open the window. That we have heard that Bob from accounting, he got emailed an attachment or he downloaded something from a phishing site, and the file was toteslegit.zip. And so we want to quickly be able to search across all the endpoints and figure out, is Bob, is Bob patient 0 and the only patient, or did like a bunch of people download that? So, and again, if you look at the gist, this has all those steps in there, but we're going to do a new hunt. Let's see, how about find phishing victims? And again, I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to keep everything simple. And this artifact that we're going to search for is, and as you can see, right, a bajillion T built-in powerful searches. But we're going to do windows.search.file finder. There it is. File finder, which is helpful for finding files on the file system. Great. Let's do it. And we will configure these parameters, and I'll do the little wrenchy deal. And I'm going to take the example from class, but I'm going to tune it to find toteslegit.zip. So in the let's see, search files. I want to look in the which has let's see, yeah, artifacts. Okay, got that search file. I got that one right. Search file finder. Oops, let me zoom out a little bit. Search files glob. Yeah, is that the one I want? I think that's the one I want. I thought it was in the. Oh no, maybe this is it. Okay, so for the glob, I'm going to modify it like we learned in class. I'm going to change that to be so search C users all profiles, right? So Brian, Tommy, Chad, Richard, whoever, and just to make it a little bit more broad, I'm going to do a search for totes. So just anything, totes.zip, totes.hta, totes. Yeah, I think that's all right. Let's see if that does it. Again, I clicked launch, but I didn't tick the box for hunt immediately, so we're in a paused state. So let's go here and now let's release the hounds. See what we come up with. And I'll go to overview. Oh, look at that. 4 or so have already phoned home. I'll just hit notebook anyway and see. Well, nothing yet. Let's recalculate. Okay. Let me see. Do we have everybody now? Well, we can look through the examples. Can I stretch that? Oh, maybe I still zoom too much. We can see that yes, indeedy. It looks like our friend TTIT01 has got a couple hits. They've got a hit for toteslegit.zip here. But then also looks like they unzipped it and potentially ran it because we've got toteslegit.exe, which was presumably inside of toteslegit.zip. So you could have, and kind of the example from the webinar was, you might have this across 40 of your 600 users. So then again, going back to, in fact, maybe I should just bring it up so it's a little bit easier to see. Going right back to Eric's awesome gist here. If we come down here a little bit, we can, let's see, is it? Oh yeah, here we go. We're going to edit the notebook to create a little table and then also tag with labels our phishing victims. So in other words, anybody who matched this source who's got remnants of toteslegit.exe or toteslegit.zip, any of those people get tagged as victims. They done got phished. So I'm going to copy it right from his notebook. Let's go into here and, oh no, actually, let's go to white space. No, here. Oh, it's already open. My bad. Let's go into here. I'll play it safe that I want to maybe come back to the default search sometime. Tika, and we'll paste in a little table. And I want to have fun with the label and say, yeah, done got fished. All right. So now we'll go save. And this was a little bit confusing to me too. You do see kind of in the raw, was that JSON? I don't know. You do see they got the "you done got fished" label, but then where it really helps you from a high level point of view, go back here to show all, and now whoever was affected is now got that label or that tag on them. That's cool, right? Gosh, I wish somebody was in the same room. That's pretty rad. I guess I'll just maybe talk to myself. That's pretty cool. Okay. So then with that in mind, the last thing I want to show you, the last example from class was, okay, let's say, let's say the users in this list, what you now want to look for is, okay, if somebody's in the "you done got fished" list, what about those users if their credentials were compromised because perhaps they gave it up to the phishing site, or the exe is a C2 beacon or something, right? And one or more user credentials are stolen. One of the next things we would probably want to know is, do we see signs of lateral movement? And one of the things they go into nice detail on, which I can't, well, you don't need to see it, but in this webinar from Eric, is he talks about that if you run just a kind of a vanilla lateral movement hunt, you're likely to have lots of results because every desktop is probably talking to the domain controllers, exchange servers, that kind of stuff. In fact, let's just do the vanilla hunt and see what kind of number of results we get. So I'll do a new hunt, lateral evil ? Let's look for that. And for that, we are going to run the, let's see, windows.eventlogs.rdp auth. Now in the webinar, he does a nice job of pointing out that, like, okay, RDP auth is in the name, but don't be thrown off by that, because it finds other other event logs and signs of things like PowerShell remoting and so on and so forth. So I'm just gonna, I think I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Let's see what kind of volume of alert logs we get. So lateral evil, let's go, and let's run it. Let me make sure there's no questions that I can pretend to know how to answer. No. Okay. Well, I'll just assume we're doing okay. Oh, and remind me, I'm going to leave this tab open as a reminder. I have to tell you about this at the very end once we're done. Okay, 4 machines are back, but let's just look at the notebook, because I wish there was a way to see the number of results at the top of the screen. But if I go down here, again, 50 results. But if you think of 200 machines in the environment, that's going to be so many machines to look for. So what he's got in the gist here is an example like this, where what you do is you parse out, because in his example, Chad Chan, he's the operator of machine ACC01. Chad Chan is going to have a lot of entries in the logs because he's logging into his own machine. So we don't want to see those. We don't want to see people authenticating to their own machine. So he does that for kind of his main IT or security people here. And then also has excluded, because there's likely to be a ton of logs around chit chat authentication having to do with the domain controller and exchange, right? And maybe FSO1, the file server. So I'm going to copy over my sort of version of that and edit that notebook. So let's go up here one more time. Let's do edit. I'm going to be a disciplined IR person and keep the vanilla search. Whoops. Let me get this done. Whoop, maybe that's too far. Okay. And here's the one I'm going to do. So my filter is, I don't care about Tommy because his primary machine is DT47. I don't care about Richard. His machine is DT02. And I don't care about Brian, whose primary box is DT01. And then also I'm going to, oh yeah, looks like we're also filtering out log off events. So that's going to remove a whole pile of noise. And also, I don't really care about Brian's conversations, or these folks. I don't care about their conversations with the domain controller or the exchange box that's in the environment. Savearoo. And suddenly we have a much, well, let's see. Actually, let me go down. We do have a smaller list, 13. And I'm sure there's a way to filter this, just make every row a little bit easier to read. But as I zoom in and out here, Brian has been very successful. he's logging into the app server. That's not what Brian usually does. And in fact, we're seeing if you kind of follow the timestamp, this is happening very quickly. 17:21 and 30 seconds. Next one is 17:21 and I guess 30 seconds, 7 seconds. So I could whittle this down even more too, right? Just to maybe show only the machine names, but at the end of the day, we're going to see Brian hit the app server. Oh, he's also hit the dev server. You'll see that my account has had its dirty fingers in all sorts of boxes that Brian never accesses. If Brian's in accounting and just staying in his lane, this is odd behavior. So we can probably infer there's been some steal. Brian got the totes legit attachment, clicked it, creds were stolen, and now someone is using that account to try to spread their influence and increase their influence in the network. And that, I think, gosh, it always takes longer. I feel like, it's only going to be 15 minutes, but it takes a while to show that stuff. Let me know what you think. Drop me something in the chat as to if you think that's cool, if you've used a Velociraptor or something like it. I don't know if there's other things, competitors, etc. But from watching these webinars with Eric and some of these IR folks, they all seem to be pretty jazzed about it. And then in the meantime, just to kind of close this out, I'm gonna just we do have one question. DF, if you don't mind, I'm gonna put this up on the screen because it's are events temporarily cached on mobile devices like laptops and later sent to the server, or does the server need to be constantly accessible, meaning it has to be publicly available on the internet? That is a wonderful question. And maybe I can do a part 2 or something at some point, DF. I'm going to write that down. Because, I feel like I'm scratching the surface of the surface with this. Right. Like if Velociraptor is running on a client, am I getting stuff from that point on? And what if the exe poops out for a minute and comes back online? Are there blind spots? All good questions. Sorry that I don't have a better answer for you. But I am I'm definitely going to be revisiting this because I decided to jump off into the deep end, and I had heard through some colleagues and people that I know online only by name and kind of reputation, that I heard some real heavy hitters were liking these Zintra labs. So these are APT emulation labs. This costs you $45 a month. Let me see if I can get down to, so real APTs, simulating attacks in like a fictional environment, and you jump in and you're the incident responder and you have to get to the bottom of things. This is the one that I'm doing, Waifu University. And it's pretty cool. Let's see. Can I see the screen? Yeah. It's pretty sweet. Like they give you, they give you a network diagram and then a little narrative on like, okay, here's kind of what we know. And it's sort of like you've been talking to the IT or security team and they'll say, around this time, there was some weird stuff in the logs for Entra or Azure, looking like credential stuffing or password spraying. And then after that, there was maybe a ransomware note left. And that's kind of what we know. And then your job as the lab user is to go in, and they've got a whole portal with questions that kind of what I'm gathering is that it walks you through the incident response forensics methodology, but it's OSCP style, in that it's not like they're going to have all this video content on how to search through Elastic or how to run all these different tools. They give you a cloud VM box with tons of tools and great resources on it, but it's not like they're going to hold your hand through it. So being new to this, right, and starting this totally from scratch, I'm in another monitor just searching, how do you do basic searches in Elastic, and trying to select the right log sources. And then uh, kind of like we did today, how do you take a result that has 36,000 logs? How do you parse it down to like 10 that you care about? And then you have to answer questions in each section of the incident response process. And it's like, what's the hash of this, or what's, give me the user agent string of the hacker based on this login activity. And so, you paste that in and you're either right or wrong. And then they do have a Discord community, or Discord community that you can go in and kind of ask for help, but you're kind of on your own. And so I feel very much like I'm back in the old school OSCP days, where I kind of want to flip this entire desk over and throw everything out the window. But then also I'll finally find the diamond in the rough and I'll get one question right. And then I'll also want to cry because I'll look and go, oh, there's 12 sections of questions and I've answered one of section one. What am I doing with my life? But I kind of love it. It's just, I think it's just re-energizing a different part of my brain, because I'm so like, beep bop boop, must pen test all the things, that this is a breath of fresh air. So I don't have any other blue team labs or certs or anything to compare it to. But I have to say, so far, really impressed. Especially to know that like this is not just somebody throwing a kitchen sink of problems into a lab and having you untangle it. It really is, it really is mimicked after APD and or APTs and real, response triage playbooks and stuff. So, not a sponsor or anything, but just wanted to throw that out there, because I figure, I could go get like a proper blue team cert somewhere or something, but for me, I sort of like just throw me in and I'll try to learn the tools, and it's going to take me 3 times as long as somebody who's going to maybe go through a step-by-step training. But I think I think I'm a better pen tester because I had to just sink or swim. That's not for everybody, but that is kind of for my brain type. Um, let's see, anything else? Luna Parkar says, "What's up?" Hey, what's up? Well, if there's nothing else, I'll let you get on with your day. Just a quick shameless self promotion for something free, since we're talking about pen testing, blue teaming. bpatty.rocks. That stands for Brian's Pen Testing and Technical Tips for You. This is something that it's just like a wiki of shortcuts and scripts and little things that help me when I use different security pen testing tools and software. And it is something that I really enjoy putting together. I've got a big 1.3 release coming out with a whole bunch of new documentation. And this little search box is powered by Algolia, which offers search capabilities for free. And it really looks like the stats are showing that people are liking it and using it a lot. And so I just wanted to offer that to you as just a, if you hear about me talk about something on the podcast or whatever, I'm trying to funnel as much of it here because I have an old brain and I don't remember much. And so honestly, this is like my own internal knowledge base, but I'm massaging it to be more public facing and user friendly. Check that out. And of course, we've got 7minsec.com, where we do penetration testing and security assessments and training. So if your company is in need of some of or all those things, we'd love to talk to you. And then we do a weekly podcast talking about lots of different security things. A lot of tales of pen test ponage. I'm getting schooled in how to make pen test drop boxes using what's it called? Proxmox. And all that's out there for you to pursue at your leisure. And I think that's it. So if there's nothing else, I really appreciate you checking out the live stream, and hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'm gonna slowly figure out where the new button is that sends us out with the bumper. But we'll talk to you all later. All right. There it is, I think. Nope, that's not it. Just going to sit here awkwardly. Oh, found it. All right. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye. You've been watching or listening to 7 Minute Security, a weekly podcast focused on pen testing, blue teaming, and building a career in security. For more episodes like this, visit 7ms.us. And for information about our consulting services, visit 7minsec.com.